Speaking of good things, we're a big fan of who's cooking in the kitchen this morning, Joe.
Yeah, Chef Tony from the Hungry Owl. And Tony, I did get a chance to see Interstellar, the movie that was in second. Just so everyone knows, it's a real long movie. It has some flaws, but it's the most ambitious movie I've ever seen. So go see it on the big screen if you get a chance. And before you go out to eat, you're going to get some good food at the Hungry Owl, right?
Right.
Make it a dinner and a movie date. So what are we doing today, Tony?
We're going to do two versions of baked oysters.
Okay.
The first one we're doing here is going to be the bacon, egg, and cheese. So we get our select oysters here. You notice these are already out of the shell.
Yeah, bacon, egg, and cheese. So is this a morning oyster dish?
You know, I think it's breakfast, right? Anytime.
Yeah, anytime. It's good anytime. And speaking of oysters, you want to talk a little bit about the huge Hangout Oyster Cook-Off. Man, how many competitors did they have down there?
I believe there were it was over 60, over 60 teams. And the Hungry Owl came in 4th overall.
That is incredible, and you made the cover of the Lanyap as well.
We did.
4th out of 60 teams, not too bad. Now, which one of these oyster ones was it that took 4th, or was it
the bacon, egg, and cheese? We actually did in the contest.
Okay,
so it was one of the 3.
Sounds great.
Right.
All right. So what else do we need to do?
We've got our oysters. We're going to do now. We're going to do the bacon, egg, and cheese. So we just go with our crumbled Conecuh bacon, of course. So we just load that in right on top, plenty of it.
And I love at the Hungry Owl how you do use all the Conecuh products, the Conecuh sausage, the Conecuh bacon.
Know, keep it local, right, as much as possible.
Not only keeping it local, but it's the best too. It's delicious.
I agree. So for the egg portion, we have a hollandaise sauce. So we just load that in. And I'm a sucker for hollandaise, especially with bacon.
And you do make all your own hollandaise sauce at the restaurant as well?
We do, absolutely. And this is the Gouda and mozzarella blend. And that just goes right on top.
That looks as Gouda as it gets.
It is Gouda.
Sorry about that. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the Hungry Owl for the folks who may have not had a chance to experience it yet. Tell them about your restaurant.
Well, we are in West Mobile, so we're a little bit off the beaten path. Cottage Hill and Schillinger's. We're a Southern and Creole eatery. You know, we're Cajun, yes, but by no definition is everything spicy. You know, that seems to be the consensus when you hear Cajun. But I think we're well-rounded, and soon to come will be baked oysters.
There we go. So when we put these in the oven, how long?
We'll put these in the broiler on high. You know, depending on your oven, 5 to 6 minutes.
All right, so we'll continue to work with Chef Tony from the Hungry Owl throughout the morning on these award-winning oysters, ladies.
Good stuff to have in your house, and this is good stuff to eat. We're back in the kitchen with the Hungry Owl. We've already made the bacon, egg, and cheese oysters, which we still need to bake, and now we're moving on to the buffalo oysters, Parmesan buffalo, right?
Yeah, buffalo Parmesan.
So tell us a little bit about your technique here. One thing to mention is you did take them out of the shell to cook these.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and take these out of the shell and just cook them right here in the pan.
Okay.
I like for everything to kind of come together, and then you don't have to fight the shell.
Right.
Or sometimes you get little bits of the shell.
Sure.
So this just kind of eliminates that factor. So we have the oysters going back with the Conecuh bacon. Like Joe said earlier, I kind of put Conecuh products on everything.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that means it's all going to taste good.
And this is our buffalo sauce that we make in the restaurant.
And how much, it looks like you're just filling up the whole space there.
Just kind of fill up the little reservoir there, and then load it with cheese, of course.
How do you pick your oysters? Is there a key to that? Is there a trick to that?
Well, we get all of our oysters from Junior Barber in Battery, and basically we buy select oysters, so they come to us, you know, already picked through. And the select ones are the ones we buy.
Okay, so there's already a process that goes through to make sure you get the best of the best.
Right, they kind of do that process there.
What advice do you have for us if we're going and we're looking for oysters? Are there anything specific we should keep an eye out for?
Well, I mean, the general things, if they're pre-shucked, you want to know how old they are, of course, because you really want them extremely fresh, days, you know, and that's it. So you look at smell, color, and if they're in the shell, want to make sure the shells are moist and closed.
Okay, so a couple things to keep in mind if you're buying those. And that's buffalo sauce that y'all make. Does it matter what kind of buffalo sauce if we're making this at home?
No, you could use any buffalo sauce. You know, you can buy it right off the shelf.
Did you grate that cheese, or did it, I mean, you know, like a lot of times what's your thought? You have a choice of buying stuff that's pre-grated or stuff that you do yourself?
Well, it would depend on the application. For a restaurant, we buy grated cheese.
Okay.
Just because we go through so much.
It would take a long time.
Yeah, be a lot of labor.
Yeah, okay. This actually looks like a fairly simple thing that we can handle. We're going to put these in the oven, and we're going to wrap it up when we come back in just a little bit.
Right, boil them for about 5 to 6 minutes.
It smells so good over here, guys.
We are finishing up in the kitchen this morning with the Hungry Owl. We have bacon, egg, and cheese baked oysters. We also have buffalo and Parmesan baked oysters. Which one's your favorite?
I'd have to say the bacon, egg, and cheese.
I'm about to try it, but first we got to get some information out. Of course, are baked oysters hard to make at home?
No, they're not. You know, you can, especially if you have a vessel like this, you can buy pre-shucked oysters, and very easy. I mean, you know, 4 to 6 minutes depending on your broiler.
And of course, oysters like this are just one of the many, many things you guys have on the menu at the Hungry Owl. Of course, you have some wonderful hamburgers.
Oh yeah, you know, that was our
that's your
claim to fame.
That's right.
That was it. After man versus food, everything kind of went haywire. So
talk about that burger a little bit, because it was pretty famous.
It was. It's and you know, we still sell them hundreds a day. So we make them fresh every day. Fresh beef, never frozen. Inside it's got cheese, onions, peppers, celery, jalapenos. We stuff that on the inside.
And it's wonderful.
Barbecue, bacon, more cheese, fried egg.
Yeah, and let me tell you, it's very hard to eat. Well, for the women, it's hard to eat. You'd probably have to cut it up and eat it in pieces because it's so big.
I see different little ways people tackle that.
Techniques.
It's interesting.
And speaking of the Hungry Owl, if you have a Christmas party coming up, they're taking reservations right now for that.
Taking reservations, and also taking toys for our Toys for Tots drive. And you get a discount on your meal if you bring in a toy.
And that's going to go on right past Thanksgiving. So if you have a Toys for Tot, bring it in. You get a discount on your meal and also help out children in our area. It's now time for me to try this oyster, isn't it?
Try it. It is.
He did. He helped me out a little bit. He said I made it a little small so your mouth wouldn't be completely full. Now you're going to have to talk while I'm eating
I wasn't
this.
saying you had a small mouth, though. I just was saying that. Yeah, so you had the bacon, egg, and cheese. That's with the Conecuh bacon,
oh my gosh,
hollandaise,
that's wonderful.
and the Gouda cheese.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful.
It's
you're
good,
going to have
right?
to wrap and toss the break for me because I'm still eating here.
Okay, so yeah, come to the Hungry Owl. We're ready for you, and call ahead, and we'll take your reservation now.
We'll be right back.